is going to take you back a long, long way. Now, you may or may not know that the very first mention ever of the great warlord Arthur is in a poem written here in this very area, a poem called the Gododin in the 6th century, where this Arthur is mentioned, and a great warrior is mentioned who is yet no Arthur. So, although the Welsh and the Cornish and other people claim Arthur, the first mention of the great warlord is here. So this is a story that takes place when there would be great forests around here, and where Arthur, the warlord, and his followers were in pursuit of a beautiful white deer. And they were pursuing the deer, but ever as they came close, she eluded them. A wisp of mist into the forest, she seemed to swim before them into the mist. And so everyone fell behind except Arthur. He dismounted and made his way through the forest. It became darker and gloomier and damper. And he came to a little clearing, and there was a great black stallion. And on the stallion, a warrior in black, who took his spear and pointed it at Arthur and said, "Now, Arthur, you die, and I shall be ruler of the North Brittonic people." And Arthur looked at him and said, "And a poor leader you shall be, for a good leader requires honor, wit, wisdom, and bravery." "Well," said the great warrior, "to show your wit and on the honor of a king, you will answer me a riddle. And if at the end of these 7 days you have not the answer on the honor of a king, you will return and meet your end at this spear's point." "What is the riddle?" said Arthur. "What is it," said the great one, "which women more desire in all the world? What is it that women most desire in all the world?" Love. Good answer, especially today. Good answer. What do you think?
To be loved.
To be loved, of course. What do you think?
To be loved.
Okay. Well, Arthur was puzzled. He had 7 days to answer the question. And so at that, the dark warrior wheeled and was gone, and Arthur made his way back. He met shepherdesses in the field, he met little girls, he met old people, and he asked them the question, "What is it that women most desire in all the world?" Well, he had many answers. Wealth, said some. Power, said others. Jewels, a good husband, children, many, many answers. And he returned to the court, bowed down in the saddle, and his good wife saw him coming. And she said, "Arthur, what is it that so bows you down?" He said, "I must answer a riddle, or in 7 days answer it with my life." "What is the riddle?" she said, "My lord, my king." He said, "What is it that women most desire in all the world?" She laughed. She said, "My lord, my king, a good man, a good husband, like yourself." But he was not sure. And he asked everyone he could find, little girls, old ladies, courtiers, every kind of person, and 7 days came to an end. And he made his way back, came to the forest, came to the leafy place, the darker place, the gloomier place, and suddenly, before him, in the path, was a flash of red, and a sweet, sweet voice, a honey-sweet voice, sweet as a lark song, saying, "It is Arthur. It is the great leader." He says, "It is. It is Arthur." She said, "What is that cloud on your brow, great leader?" And he thought, someone with such a beautiful voice as this must indeed be a beautiful woman. And he looked, And he scarcely could look, for this was a deformed creature, humped, twisted, broken, her hair matted and broken, her skin scabbed, one eye closed, the other running, what teeth she had, yellow, her hands wrinkled, her neck, and yet beautiful rings, beautiful dress, and this beautiful voice. What is it? He said, I think I walk to my death. How so? She said. I must answer a riddle. She said, the riddle? And he thought, well, this is a woman. So he said, yes. He told her the riddle, and she gave that little trickling musical laughter, and she said, it is easy. He said, what is the answer? She said, come close, come close. And she whispered in his ear. At once his eyes lit. Oh, he said, thank you, thank you. And on he went. And he came to the clearing once more, and there once more was the great stallion, and there once more was the great warrior, and there once more was the spear, and there once more it was pointed at his breast. Now, Arthur, you die. I think not, said Arthur. What then is your answer? And the king gave the answer that had been whispered in his ear by the strange hag in the forest. How came you by that answer? That is a riddle for you to answer, said the king. And with that, the warrior wheeled and was gone. And the king made his way back, and as he made his way back, there was the flash of red. And the voice saying, you're alive. You're living. He said, I owe you my life. What boon may I give you? What favor? Ask. Whatever you ask, it is yours. And she said in that lyrical, musical voice, one wish on the honor of a king. He said, speak, it is yours. She said, I would like to have the hand in marriage of one of your warriors. He was thinking of his handsome young warriors. He said, ask again. I could give you castles, men-at-arms, power, wealth, what you would. Ask again. She said, on the honor of a king, one wish. Very well, he said, and took his way back. And as he was returning, once more his wife, looking out from the stronghold, saw him bent, but alive. And she said, my lord, my king, you're alive. Why so sad? So he told her. And she said, well, call your followers together. I'm sure one of them, from loyalty to you, will marry this woman however she is. And so he called the warriors together, and the ones who were married were delighted. He did not mince words in the description. He did not varnish the truth. Others started to drink a little more than usual. Others hid in corners. But at length, one handsome Gawain came forward and said, my lord, once I wronged a woman, and for that and for love of you, I will marry this woman however she is. And so it was next day, they rode out. Arthur, another follower, and young Gawain. And they came once more to the place, and there was the flash of red, the sweet voice. You have come, great king. But the follower, seeing her, said, you cannot ask this young man to marry this. But already Gawain was on his knees, looking into her eyes, and she looked to see if there were some trickery, some deception. But no, she saw the light of truth. He said, I'm asking you to be my bride. And so they rode back together. And when they came to the court, of course, people had downcast eyes and found it difficult to look at this strange, misshapen creature. But after the promise made was a debt unpaid, and so it was that a wedding was arranged and a great feast. At the feast, people were rather nibbling than eating heartily. Once more, many were drinking heftily. And after the feast came the dance. And young Gowan gallantly took his bride, and they went to the floor. She, radiant with her jewels, but misshapen, and nothing could disguise her appearance. And they danced around the floor. The king got up to make some appearance, and so did the others. And so there was some kind of attempt to make some jollity of the occasion. But the dance came to an end, of course. The music came to an end. It was time to retire. And so they retired to the bridal chamber, and Gowan sat and gazed into the fire and into his future. And then, now, whether it was this mellifluous lyrical voice, whether it was some warmth and sympathy in his heart, when she said, my lord, it is time to retire, he turned and kissed her on these thin, cold lips and opened his eyes to see before him a radiant beauty, laughing and saying, now you have broken half of the spell I'm under. And he said, half. She said, half of the spell. What is the half? He said. She said, now I will be as you see me, for the day or the night. And now I will be as you found me, for the day or the night. Will you have me as you see me by day or by night? And what do you think? You were beautiful by night. Yes, he was a young man. What do you think? So he was thinking, if she were in this wretched form by day, she would be the mockery of the people, perhaps. And if by night, well. So he looked at her and he said, I cannot decide. You choose. And she laughed. She laughed. She said, you have given me what every woman desires. You have broken the spell. You have given me the right to choose for myself what every woman desires. And now I will be, as you see me, by day and by night. And so it was that the people kind of expected to see Arthur and his bride early in the morning, but it was rather late in the afternoon when the radiant pair appeared, and once more there was feasting, there was dancing, there was laughter, there was joy, and that is the end of that Valentine story.